Pounders, we're back. Today, welcome with me is going to be Nez from the Badge Bros, who'll be hopping on shortly. Right now, I want to talk about a little BBM action, and not only that, but the draft guide has been complete when the tournament was 18% full. The last time we did an update was 6% when the schedule dropped. This is completely free to all subscribers, as well as you got to be a member of the Discord. The link is in the description. This is the most plus EV draft guide out there, in my opinion. It comes from all up top and a lot of statistics in here that I think you guys will find very interesting. I have it value-based by rounds and 7 pages of player write-ups, every single player that's ranked all the way up until my boy here. Some honorable mentions at the bottom. You have to do it. You have to do it. But we're looking at 54 Bestball Mania's draft so far for me. And my goal right now is by the end of the month, I want to have around 100. I would like it to be around 120, but that would be a pretty crazy pace. I can go through and do that daily, how many it'll be a day. But I would like to get to 120 really by the end of the month, save 30 for the month of July and August, but it's looking like 100, and maybe I'll do 25 and 25. So I think that's pretty much the goal for me for my layouts. And I think it's important to just look at what sort of pace you're on every now and then for the tournaments, and also keeping track of your exposures, right? Exposures are huge. Risers, fallers, it's all really important. In the Discord, you'll find in the cheat sheet section, if you scroll all the way to the top, someone was kind enough on the Twitter machine to put out the starting ADPs for Bestball Mania. And it's actually crazy how important it is to see what they started at and where they're at right now. Like Alexander Madison started at, I believe, 106. But we'll get into some Alexander Madison, I'm sure. But welcomed with me, the myth, the man, the legend, Nez. What's going on, my man?
Dude, this is long overdue. This has been a couple weeks, maybe even a month in the making of you and I hopping on a stream together and talking some shop, doing some drafts, man. I'm pumped. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't stoked.
Yeah. Oh, I'm psyched to have you. And yeah, we've been back and forth on the Twitter machine. And dude, I'm loving what you guys are doing. You guys are crushing. Congrats on 1K.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, just hit. Got a little boost there at the end with some help from Pete. But yeah, I mean major. So now we are in the process of unlocking memberships, because you have to apply for it. So with the memberships, we'll keep it like a nice low fee, so that way, everybody doesn't have to pay too much to access some of those custom emotes. Everybody wants the new me tilt. Everybody wants the custom emotes. So we're excited, man.
Can we get a little behind the scenes? What's the emote gonna look like? Do you have a certain face for him?
I think what we will have to do is go through past streams and get one mid yell potentially, or there's a really good screen grab of when we had Pete on the channel and we did baseball talk, and I compared his favorite player Byron Buxton to Will Fuller. And listen, it's honestly fair, because Buxton never plays, and when he does play, he's like boom or bust.
Right. Yeah.
It was spot on. I stand by it. I stand by it.
So you just made an absolute stank face.
Oh yeah. It's still my pinned tweet on my Twitter, because it's so funny. You've got me giving a little a troll face, I know I just said something bad, and then you have John and Numi both just up in arms at what I just said on stream, ruining their credibility. But I stand by it. I stand by it. But hey, I'd be remiss if I didn't give you some props as well, man. I just have to. I mean, we haven't really had a chance to talk like this. I mean, you're doing some good
Yeah, I
stuff
know.
over here too, man. I love to see the growth that the channel's gotten. I'm in the Discord with the rest of the Pounders. So I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
you got some really good stuff going, man. I think we are both in a nice place, you know, with this like streaming stuff at a really good time,
Yeah.
because we're still really early in Underdog and Bestball in general. So keep it up, man.
I 100% agree. It is early. When I ask my best buddies in my fantasy leagues that are hardcore, diehard redraft fans, right?
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
have you guys heard of Underdog? Like, yeah, I've heard of it. Like, do you know what best ball is? And 2 out of 12, well, 2 out of 11, you count me, 2 out of 11 don't know.
It's wild.
Or I'm sorry, 9. Only 2 did know about it. And this is up to the end of last year.
It's
So
same here, man. It's wild. And you know, what's funny is like that my league with like, I'm in a lot of like redraft leagues, right? I feel like everybody that is in Underdog as heavily as we are has started out just like degenning and getting in as many redraft leagues as possible, right? Well, my league with my college buddies is like my white whale. Like I have not won that redraft league. We've been doing it since like 2013, dude, and I've never won it. So like I have this reputation of, you know, maybe I have bad luck. Maybe I'm a bad manager in redraft because I get too bored. But I show them screenshots. I'm like, you guys, like, I just want, I showed these big weeks I have in Underdog, and they're like, shit, man. If Nez is winning on Underdog, like me.
Oh, come on. So how many leagues? Because I can only do 3. Like 3 is what I cap out at, just from like a sanity standpoint, and that's why I love Underdog so much, right? But how many do you do at one time?
Man, I do a lot.
Come on, how many?
Well,
10? 10 plus?
So are you talking like pure redraft or like Dynasty? Or do you do a lot of Dynasty? I'm not sure if you're in like the Dynasty.
I just got into Dynasty. Shout out to Steph.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Steph.
Steph is a dynasty nut. Like she's got the copies leagues. Like it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like she's doing some really cool stuff with hers.
But even that's best ball. So like it's not really a whole lot of like in season, which I love.
Yeah.
So I was on board.
I think that might be the new wave. Sorry to not answer this question yet. To like do Dynasty Best Ball, I think that might be. I think that'll slowly be creeping into the ecosystem of like the normies, so to speak, because
I bet
just because Dynasty is just such a beast, and by adding in the Best Ball element, it kind of makes it easier. But anyways, the number of redraft leagues I'm in, it's actually not that many anymore because I mostly just do Dynasty if I'm not doing Best Ball. So I'm only in 3 now. I cut it down. I used to have like I literally would like not be able to say no to people, man. Like everybody knew I would play. They're like, hey AJ, like you want to join my league? And I would always say yes. And then I finally like I was like breaking up with a significant other, like, dude, I cannot do the redraft league this year. Like, I simply cannot. Like, it's not good for me. So, unfortunately, I had to cut down, but for the better, because now I get to focus on this stuff.
That's the thing. Like, after 3 leagues, like I did 4 one year, I did 5 another. After number 3, they all start to take a little bit of a hit.
Yes.
And then I cut down to 3, and it's like back to winning 1 a year or 2 a year. And that's just what I've noticed from my standpoint. But yeah, I think everyone started right doing redraft old school all the way. I go all the way back to 2010 in college with the buddies with my brother's league, and my brother's 7 years older. And that was 200 bills back in the day. So come Christmas time, won that 2 years in a row, sophomore in college, junior in college, getting like $2,000 for first.
That's
400
like,
for second. I was like
winning BBM at our age now, right?
Like that's $2,000 beers right there. And I was playing poker at the time as well. Absolute grinding poker with anyone that would play with me at college. Online, I was online when it got shut down.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I had a bunch of money frozen up. But again,
I'm slowly realizing how strong of an overlap there is with poker and best ball. Like I feel like half the dudes I talk to now are like former poker players, and I feel so left out. I missed the boat on peak poker back in those days.
Yeah, it was the best.
I will say I was doing a little Poker Stars whenever like Chris Moneymaker like won.
Oh, yeah.
I was on like my dad's account like playing with his money with like 25 cent like big blinds, like just going nuts.
Well, I have to shout out my brother because he's 7.5 years older than me. So when I was like 11 or 12, 13, he was playing on Party Poker, and I would just watch him play poker for hours. and hours, and I started reading poker books when I was 14. So it was just I read more poker books than I did school books, which probably isn't that great of an idea.
Well, we're the same guy, I think.
Yes, it's too much. It's too much. But let's jump into some best ball mania talk. How many have you done, and how many do you want to do?
I'm gonna max. I know. Like I told myself like coming in that I wanted to focus more into this best ball season, that I wanted to do more high stakes, just because of the the field being smaller, and the ROI, or the return you get is like usually there's softer advance rates. Like so I the compromise is, well, I'll do more high stakes and I'll probably max BBM. So I don't think I'm going to be able to not max it. I'm at 30 right now.
Okay.
And I recently ramped that up. I've been like, I've been taking it pretty slow, but recently I've been doing like 2 a day. But I've like, I maxed the poodles. I did the chow chows. So yeah, I've been going hard, man.
You've been dabbling. I'm nearing 400 drafts so far this off season. Yeah, I've been just NFL.
God damn.
But I don't feel the need to be like, well, BBM, like I'm gonna max it, same thing. But I don't feel the need to like max the poodles or max the puppies, because I know once it fills, another tournament's gonna open.
Yeah,
I think the best part about that, and what everyone should focus on, is, okay, you missed out on a player that was rising, right? Now you're too afraid, or you think it's too late to draft them. Just wait for that next tournament. Now, obviously, you can't do that in BBM, but it's a great, if anyone does stocks, like getting in on at stocks at different prices, and it kind of resets for everybody. That's the best part.
Yeah. No, I really like that we are like, the term that's been coined is like the time box contest, right? That it really feels like we're going to get way more of these. Well, maybe, I don't know, way with an asterisk, who knows what number that will be, but just these, like the 20 max, 15 max, like easily maxable time box contest for me. Like, I think is like my wheelhouse. It's still a big field, but it's a smaller field. And if I'm like even with everybody else at like a price point that for me is not like a huge hit, then I'm gonna do that just to get reps in, just because I have like the time to do it. So I'm like able to do so. So yeah, that's just been like my thought process on there. But the puppies, I'm never gonna max a puppy like that. It just seems like such an arduous task. But did you max the big board then?
I maxed the big board. Yeah, I was so heavily. Dude, I was drafting like the day it came out. Like I was cash games.
Respect,
just to get like $3 reps in cash games after the Super Bowl. Like an absolute sicko, right? Like an absolute sicko, man. But how much of an advantage do we have now that we stayed with the content, that we stayed up to date with all the players, the teams, the free agency, all that, the rookies, like the casuals are going to come back and they're just going to get swept. They're going to be basically drafting off ADP.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. Like I had a buddy like ask me like, when am I going to start drafting? and he's not like too hard in, but he just, we just like, he knows like he's one of my like friends that actually does know Underdog. I was like, man, like I've been in like I'm 100 something in, man. Like I'm out here. Like I'm
in the quicksand.
Yeah, dude. It's a grind for sure. But I feel good about it. I feel good about like where I'm at in the players that I'm taking, and I know that like everyone knows I do like crazy type of structure sometimes, but that's obviously not like all of my drafts. But I mean, I feel pretty good so far about like the way like the players that I'm taking in the constructions that I'm building. So we'll see if it pays off this year. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Of that. Let me see. I'll pull up my exposures for this. Is typically, I leave this for the Patreon members in the Discord here.
Oh, we get a little peek behind the curtain. While you do that, I'm gonna turn on my fan, man. It's hot as hell in Dallas today.
Please. We're not gonna make you sweat it out today. Let's pull this up.
Oh, thank you.
No breaks.
Yeah, come on, man. We bring you on the show, stepping out the chair. All right, let's see these bad boys.
All right. Do we want the whole off season here, or do we just?
You could do just the yeah. Oh boy, look at
Here's the
this.
whole off season. Shaheed to the moon, hopefully. And I just went nuclear off the screen. There we go. Njoku probably would get killed if Hopkins goes over, but if not, I like him better than Ingram, who goes before him.
I think so too.
Njoku could have a huge year, and he's slowly kind of crept up. Now with the D-Hop news, like he's going, visiting the Titans. Don't think it's going to happen. He's visiting the Pats. Don't think it's going to happen. From his own mouth, right? He said he wants to play with an elite quarterback. So
somebody why not somebody that he's played with before? Like I feel like people kind of forget, like, hey, he used to catch balls from Deshaun Watson. So I don't know. I've been slowly like adding in some Browns, but I like the Njoku take. I just looked. I'm only at 7% Njoku, but I'm taking like kind of like a strange stance, I guess you could say, on tight end this year. Like I have like 1, 2, 3 guys over 16%, and only 6 guys, including those 3, over 11%, and the rest are just like I'm just like kind of like spreading out a bunch of bullets. It seems to be, and I didn't realize I was like doing that and like on purpose until I decided to actually take a deep dive at my tight ends. And it's interesting. Who knows? I mean, for me, it's a lot of Kyle Pitts, Hawkinson, and Cole Kmet are my top 3.
Okay, I like that. I'll go through all of them real quick.
I want to see what you got going on.
Very balanced. Same thing, like even more balanced than your tight end exposures that I am at QB, because I'm stacking all these games. And bring backs and all that. But I do like Dallas. Detroit is one of my favorite games to stack, and you can tell by that's correlated with the Dallas stack right here.
Yep.
It's always important to correlate your takes, right?
My QBs look the
anyone
same,
surprise you?
Yeah. Like mine always look like this every season. I feel like I'm never like over like 20% on like any QB. I'm getting close with Stafford right now. I got a lot. No like big surprises for me. Like I like Dak. I think Dak is like an interesting spot. He kind of feels like a tear break to me at quarterback, even though I really like Geno after him. But like it just feels like the quarterbacks it just feels like a tear break. Purdy, I'm not surprised, but I love all your Purdy. I think Purdy is such a smash at that late.
It's sneaky, man. It really is, because either him or Lance, they're going to be a top 20 QB, and you're getting them so damn late. And maybe they split, and who knows what happens throughout the season. But the one that's playing the last 3 games, it's a value at the very least, right?
Right. Yeah. At the worst, it's just like a value, and like he barely pays off. But I'm really confident that he's going to be returning for week 1. Like it wasn't like a Tommy John surgery on the elbow. It wasn't a full reconstruction. It was a repair. Right. And I mean he was. Can we say he was good last year?
Yes.
Like are we allowed to say that he was good?
Like he was good.
Despite whatever circumstances were there that allowed him to be good, like he was good. And so I'm taking him late. Like I took him a lot like before, like he's starting to rise a little bit. But yeah, I love that the Purdy exposure, man.
If I had to change anything from my own exposures, looking back, like I need more Tua, because on a points per game basis, when I took out his concussion games, he was QB7. He's going off the board as QB12. He also had a 40-point week, which can he replicate that? Probably not, but I strongly think that he can get in that 32, 34 range pretty easily with those weapons. He had 4 top 4 finishes, right? And this might surprise you. Geno Smith had 4 top 5 finishes. So Geno's my second QB.
My fucking guy, dude.
I
love Geno Smith. Like I kind of forgot. I was looking back at last season. I'm like, I forgot how like Geno was just in so many good games last year, where it was just like if the offense that he was facing was like good enough to like push the pace, like Geno was going nuts. So I'm all over the Seahawks this season. My worry though is like the Seahawks defense is like sneaky young and like sneaky like on the rise. And my concern is that they might get like too good, and now the shootout potential isn't quite as there. And we've got Walker and Charbonnet, and
Right.
they just like pound the shit out of the ball because that's what Pete Carroll has been known to do. But I still love Gino. So I'm not like it's not in my head too much, but it is like something that I'm thinking about. And I will say, like, Tua, like, I love Tua. He was one of my highest owned QBs last year. So like that in the playoffs, like I had a lot of Tua, so that hurt. That was like part of my death knell. But my concern with Tua, and I still love Tua as a player, is like one concussion, man, and he might be done for the season.
Oh yeah,
like he might be done.
But that's got to be baked in. It's got to be baked in where he's
I think it is, but I also think people just don't like Tua. Like, I think what I'm like kind of playing it right now is like, I think it's the soft fade, and then like in dailies, like anytime he's available, like I'm making like Tua and Tyreek like such a large like portion of my portfolios every week.
Look where we're drafting both Miami Dolphins pass catchers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like Tua, if you are worried about the Tua concussions, right? Then why are you drafting the pass catchers so damn early? You know what I mean? So I think
it's definitely not because we're bullish about Mike White, even though I will say I have galaxy brains some Mike White. Just, God
that's
forbid.
Fine. That's fine.
And another one I will say, just my last little Dolphins take is what about a little Chosen Anderson for like a sneaky third wide receiver?
Oh yeah, yeah. Why not?
Been mixing him in a little bit just because I mean, probably the most interesting third wideout that they've had with I mean. They've only had this insane duo for a year, but I mean, there was no third option last year, and Gesicki's gone. So is it Durham Smythe?
Was it Trent Sherfield that was there last year that went to Buffalo?
Is he in Buffalo now? God, I feel like they just took everybody's like sloppy seconds.
Yeah, Deontay Hardy, all of them. But guys, real quick, if you haven't already, drop a like on the live stream. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, join the pound. We got a free draft guide in the Discord for the subscribers, and we love that.
Yeah, show some love.
Yeah, let's go. Running backs.
Okay.
Oh, so I got a little
here we go. Here. Now let's get spicy.
I get a little heavy here. So you can see I'm going AJ Dillon a lot in like I did a lot of chow chows. I think I finished with 8 chow chows. I have one still slow going right now against Herzig right next to me.
Nice.
But I'm not mad at anyone here. Like
this is the exposures of a 0 RB drafter.
To some extent,
whether or not you want to, I don't know, or maybe you're just like mixing these in with some studs. But this to me looks like you are taking a lot of wide receivers early. But I'll let you explain yourself.
No, you're definitely right. But I feel also as the draft goes later, I'm not as afraid to get my guys because first off, if you're wrong, like if Chase Brown doesn't hit or whatever. He's not going to kill you. He's not going to kill your drafts. To put it this way, I had 24% Tim Patrick at the time that he got injured last year.
Ouch.
I got it down to 16%. I had a 36% advance rate in tournaments, and I made 5 finals with Tim Patrick on some of those teams, right? So, and he was like going in the 15th, 16th, 14th, like 14th to 16th through the offseason last year. So it does not kill you. But if you're right on that player and it's a player that's going late and he proves to be an absolute value, just think of like, I mean, even Zay Jones last year smashed for a last round.
He was such a key piece.
He smashed
last year. Yeah. He was so big.
I liked him. I believe he was on King Cap's Bestball Mania, like regular season $1 million lineup as well.
I think so. I should know that by heart. But I think he was. He and Ingram were like tied to like just undervalued offenses, right? I think that's something that we're seeing more and more is people stacking offenses like without a quarterback, just like taking pieces of a team that is like potentially undervalued. And I'm doing that with a couple different teams. As well. But yeah, man, if like we get Mixon bad news or like Chase Brown just like is that dude in camp, then you are sitting pretty. And I love the Zach Evans exposure. Love that.
He's a big play guy to get him in the last round. Like they sent Cam Akers home for 2 weeks last year. Like I just can't forget about that. You know what I mean? They're trying to trade him and they're like, don't even come to practice. I don't want you to get hurt tying your shoe.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Like the draft capital isn't like gonna like isn't gonna get people sold on him, right? But to me, like I like the stature, the way that he playing he was an SEC running back, like looked good, and and when he did look good, uh, with just Kyron Williams back there, who like he didn't win the job with Cam
No.
Akers there last year. So like
No.
to me, I'm very much like quick to move off of like, like you give me 1 year and like if like in your opportunity you don't take advantage, like I'm done with you. Like I'm straight up done. I am moving on, and maybe that could burn me. Like there's some situations where that could probably come back and bite me. I don't know. I
He
can't
is
like think
another
of
year
anything.
removed. He is another year removed from the Achilles, right? So I am mixing in Akers a little bit still. Like I'm
Oh, so am
probably
I.
I'm in that like 7 to 8% range, but I still don't mind taking an 18th round shot on, Zach Evans.
Yeah, Evans
You
and
know?
the Rams in general. I like
Yeah.
all of the Rams pieces. I think they're going to be better than people expect. Like, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have to go back to their Super Bowl year, but if they meet somewhere in between, they're all pretty much smashes at their ADP.
Mm-hmm.
And then real quick at the receivers, and we'll go into the tight ends. Anyone here surprise you? There's your Rams.
Well, yeah, there we go. There's Van. I love Van. Shaheed, I think, is like a very bold stance, but I mean, he's clearly the third wideout, potentially the wide receiver too, if like, when the inevitable Michael Thomas injury takes place. I like Derek Carr as a quarterback.
He's not afraid to chuck it. And
Yeah.
Shaheed's that guy that like really high average depth of target. I think it's actually a good pairing for Carr.
Yeah, it's interesting just because he's like he's an old rookie, so I think that kind of like throws people off. And he wasn't like a brand name guy, but I definitely mix in Shaheed. I have like my last year's exposures up for whatever. I think I was looking at my 2 exposures. Yeah, there's some bad names on this exposures list from last season, but yeah, no, I like it. Like I like Shaheed. I just I love the stance, and same with Michael Gallup. I think Michael Gallup is probably one of the bigger values in drafts right now.
He's been a huge riser too. So this is all the way from around 169 ADP. And Shaheed as well, as he was going pretty high. I guess not extremely high. He's been relative to his spot, but Tyquan Thornton has started to rise after one tweet. You know what I mean? Like, give me back ADP 185 Tyquan Thornton.
Oh, right. Tyquan Thornton felt like a little secret that we were all keeping. Like, we're just gonna keep him buried down there. Like nobody talk about Tyquan Thornton. Like clearly, like to me, he doesn't really have to do much to be like a better best ball pick than Juju, in my opinion, where he's going and what he can do.
Yeah, got you. The tight ends.
Here we go.
Njoku, obviously, like if D-Hop doesn't go to Cleveland,
even if he does, like I don't know, he's not a wide receiver.
It's a lower threshold.
Like if Hop goes to the Browns, like how bad is Elijah Moore at current ADP?
It hurts.
I think
it hurts a little bit. Like I think you have to put him behind Juju at least.
I would say that's fair. Do you think DeAndre Hopkins is like washed? Do you think he has nothing left to give? Like,
no, he was on pace last year to like win the league and like catches.
Dude,
he was on pace.
I don't think people realize like the target share that he was like commanding, like over like Mark. I mean, like I know the competition was basically like Marquise Brown and like that's it, but like, hey man, he was still earning targets and like and he's never been the type, like I feel like his game was always going to age gracefully, right? He was never like a super like speedy like separator, like he just gets the job done. I just feel
he's
like
a pro.
Yeah,
he's a pro amongst pros.
So I like where it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But I think if he goes to Cleveland, Njoku I still think is okay because I think that still gives Njoku more like red zone opportunities.
Amari Cooper has to take a huge hit, in my opinion.
He will, I think.
He goes into like that Judy range.
Yeah, and I still like him. I think Amari Cooper is getting a lot of respect right now based on ADP. But I would like him to take a dip because I will take that discount for sure.
He'll go back to like his Dallas days where like one day he has a 25-point game. The
Yes.
next day you're like, was he on the field?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Cooper burnt me so many times last year in dailies. Just like thinking that he was automatic smash.
Mhm.
Did the classic Cooper stuff.
But I'm mostly doing, well, I've sort of switched to 3 tight end. I was doing a lot of 2 tight end just because I like that last roster spot at the end of the roster just to use on a running back, because I think that's where the highest upside lies, is in running back. It just takes really one player to get injured if you're
Right.
selecting the right backfields.
Yep.
But 3 tight ends, there's no denying that tight end is the most sure position for your last pick. Like we have Hunter Henry not even being drafted.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's my 4th. If we go by entry fees, he's my 3rd highest.
Oh, and investment. I love it, man. I'm still a Hunter Henry truther. I don't care. I'm still a believer in Henry. And yeah, I feel like it's a trend right now. I'm not seeing as many like awesome tight ends available in round 18 like there used to be like a few weeks ago.
That's true.
I think people are kind of catching on that. Hey, if you miss out on an elite guy, like you might as well take more, take a 3rd, sometimes a 4th, to maximize like your regular season output, and obviously give yourself better chances in the playoffs, that to hopefully catch a week where somebody can maybe not outperform the elites, but like put a score that competes with those guys. So I love it. Like I think 3 tight end makes a lot of sense. Are you doing any like dual elite or dual like mid to high capital tight end stuff? No.
Who put? Let's pull something up from the Discord here if I can. And it's Liam that put out this tweet, and we have it starred in our Discord just for everyone to see. It's the tight end pairings from last year. I don't know if this changed over or not. No,
oh yeah, this will be good to check out.
Yeah.
I will say I am, but I want to.
Okay, so just Kelsey, right? You just did single tight end, 254 points. You go Kelsey and Hawk, you gain 42 points. Think about how good Hawk was last year with the spike weeks. You're gaining 42 points, and think about where Hawkinson went. He went in the 8th or 9th round. So you're spending more than that, right? You're spending more than that if you're going 2 elites. Now, maybe you're not going Kelsey. Maybe you're going Andrews and someone else, Andrews and Kittle. Or are you thinking like Kittle and Pitts, like that range?
So it's hard for me to do it with Kelsey. Like I think the best tight end that maybe I did pair with Kelsey was like a falling Hawkinson. But I don't do it with Kelsey, and I rarely do it with Mark Andrews either. But the one pushback that I would have on this is like it doesn't like incorporate, like I believe it doesn't incorporate like the flex spot. Like if they both hit, one of them can be a flex position. So that's been like my view of it, is mostly because I really like Kyle Pitts. I like his price. I think that I don't think he's a bad football player, and I love Hawkinson. And so I pair those two like pretty frequently. I go both of them just because if they both hit, like it's not a bad thing because I can flex one of those guys. So that's the way I've been looking at it, is like treating one of them like, and then like I then have to make up obviously in capital somewhere. So whether it's like my running backs or
you're hoping you're just getting fallen ADP somewhere at a position of need, basically. Catch up.
But like for me, just based on like the offenses that that Hawkinson is in, man, I think Hawkinson is gonna feast this season. I would not be surprised if he was like tight end 2 on the year. We talked Kittle with Purdy, like with how good he did with when Purdy was behind center. There's just a lot of guys, but I don't mind pairing them just because you can flex one. And who knows in the playoffs, like it's just like something different that I'm trying to see how it affects my advance rates and how I do in the playoffs.
And those tight ends have a significant higher ceiling than tight ends going in the 160 range. So they have access to a higher ceiling that maybe you're pushing on a low advance rate Kyle Pitts, because that Kyle Pitts owner paired him with Schultz, and Schultz also busted that week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing with best ball. Like it's not mastered yet. So
It's
you can't say anyone's strategy's wrong, because
right. I can understand if that's not how you like to play. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's totally fair. If you would just like, you know what, I want to call my shot on one of these tight ends, like that's cool. Like I think it's something that isn't being done a lot, and I don't think it's like a death knell to your team. Like some other like strategies that maybe I'm trying are, you know.
No, those tight ends also go in good ranges, so I don't blame you for that at all. But let's jump into a draft. Do you want to jump in with us?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we'll see if you want to jump
Dude,
in
I've been
right
having
now,
some struggles on my app. Okay, I'm in.
All right. Because the stream's like 10 seconds behind. So we're way good talking about it.
So
I know you got speedy fingers.
I do, but for whatever reason, man, I don't know what's going on with like my my account, my profile. When I try to enter a draft, sometimes it'll give me like an error. Like I don't know. Maybe I just need to delete and reinstall.
Is it the whole like VPN thing, or?
It's not. It's just like weird. It's like with when I submit pick'ems, when I try to enter drafts, sometimes like it's like 50-50. I don't know what's going on. I need to hit up my boy Red Mamba, and
you're just like, take my money, take my
please.
money.
Like, well, don't you guys want my money? Influencer 112.
Yes, sir. I mean, they missed it by a little bit, but it's all right.
So forgive me for not knowing your accolades here, but did you take down one of those tournaments that you were a finalist in last year?
No, I came in 12th is my highest finish, and that was in one of the super flexes. I came in 100th in the puppy 3 or 4, which was like 200K to first, but Henry didn't play, and I had Hertz that didn't play that week. So I knew there was no sweat for me at all.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield and Higbee got me in anyways.
Yes.
It's so gross, but it worked.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what was your big bankroll builder last year?
Battle Royale.
I thought so. I was
week
looking
18, yeah.
Oh, it was week 18?
Yeah.
Damn it. I was looking for it because I was like, I knew you hit one. I knew you did, and I couldn't find it. I was looking back, and I didn't look up high enough. That's awesome, man. That's a tough one to win.
Yeah, it really just took a lot of projections, like who do you think could be on the field, what games do you think can blow up, and
that was a Keenan Allen game, which was like really shocking, right?
Yeah. So we had he was the bring back on that team. We had Judy and Russ, which I mean, Russ wasn't being drafted because you're only selecting 6 QBs, right? So
yeah, those are a lot of fun. You played those pretty heavily last year, did you not?
Yeah, I almost went back to back. The next week I finished 54th, and
oh damn,
that was like one of those lineups where you got crazy ADP on like 2 players, and it was like, oh wow, so like it was super unique. But
yeah, those are so fun, man.
They're so much fun.
They are. I
we'll
love
be doing
contests.
in-season battle royales this year. Don't worry about it.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I was looking back at some of my results and my close calls, and also some of my ruts, man. Oh man, I was definitely down bad at one point. So all right, I'm up at the 1-6, and I'm looking at Eckler, Kelsey, and Diggs, and I got to tell you, man, I take Eckler here like almost without question over Kelsey because of those tight ends that we talked about. And I'm going to do it again.
I think Eckler should be most likely at 5.
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's tough.
But again, like you won't get exposure to other players. So within reason, like I like selecting him here at 6 or 7. I also don't mind bringing down like CeeDee Lamb to anywhere from 6 to 12. Like I'll draft him anywhere in that range as well. And
yeah, you had an interesting tweet today about CeeDee.
Yeah, we'll go over that in a sec. Yeah, it has to do with that injury. Really scared about that injury. You gotta push him down the board, you know?
Yeah, gosh. They're saying he might not play. They said Dak, They said Dak is contemplating retirement.
All right, I was gonna say I'll go Kelsey here at the 112. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb had more wide receiver 1 finishes than AJ Brown. He had 8 wide receiver 1 finishes. AJ Brown had 6. We now have Schultz, who's not in the offense anymore. He was a red zone threat. So I think that's
I love that double tap right there.
Oh yeah, I'm Wilson over Adams right now until we get a little more certainty with the QB. And
I would definitely take Adams right after Wilson, but I love him. I love Devontae.
It's gonna happen anyways. Like you can see 12.9, 13.2. It's already happening. So
right.
If you want Adams later, like just wait a week.
Yeah,
like
you said, CD being in having more wide receiver 1 or top 10 finishes than
top
AJ
12,
Brown.
Yeah.
Top 12. CD Lamb was in both of my winning lineups this season when I won the goal line stand 2 times.
So no bias. Respect. You love him, no bias.
No, it was weird.
You're gonna love him for life.
For me, I wasn't even expecting a spike week. I was just like, let me get 15 points out of CD Lamb. He won't kill my lineups. And then he was the winning piece. Oh man, am I going high T here? What's up with this? You kind of attract a little some piss boys yourself here.
Yeah. Well, don't leave Stephanie out. Stephanie's pissing too.
So some piss drafters, some pissers. We're gonna have some trouble here. I went Devontae. I got to be honest. I don't love it. I don't take a lot of Devontae Smith, just because the running backs are there so nice. And honestly, I'm borderline DK over Devontae, but with the elite QBs falling, I will take Hurts if he falls.
I think there is a tier break after Smith, and I would actually put Metcalf in his own little place. I mean, he is on an island. He's basically on an island by himself over here.
No, he is, right? He's just clumped in with those other positions, right?
But it's been crazy, actually. Who is driving up the Calvin Ridley price? Is it just because someone we have to put someone there? So it's why not Calvin?
It's all of the wide receivers getting boosted up. I loved how the ADP was settled in the past, right? Before I thought we had such a healthy environment. We already had wide receivers up high, and we already had running backs depressed, and now it got even worse. I didn't think it could get worse, and it got worse.
Well, I hate to say it, but everyone's making content, everyone's consuming content, and the ADPs are so much sharper at this point in the year than they were last year.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
It's so wild.
So from when we did our first BBM guide was at 6% fill rate. That was when the NFL schedule came out. We posted it that day. Our next update was, I posted it 3 days ago to the Patreon members when it was 18% full. And the common trend was all the wide receivers, all of them were being pulled up. Now the QBs are, the elite 3 are falling, as you can see right here, all 3 going in the second round. And what that is doing is it's pushing back these middle round QBs because it has to, right? You can't be taking them at ADP when the top 3 are falling. It's just that's bad value on the back end. So you see Trevor Lawrence, he'll fall 10, he'll fall 14 picks in some of these drafts. So I have been trying to push Trevor Lawrence as much as possible and just sort of,
he falls in a lot of my rooms, which is interesting. But
common faller.
Yeah. I feel like it's just the Kirk and Ridley owners, just drafters, just trying to push it, just seeing how long they can wait, playing chicken with one another. Because if you don't have either of them, Lawrence feels like a strange pick. If you don't,
he does feel like a strange pick, but it gets to a certain point now where we are paying out the regular scoring season, weeks 1 to 14, where it is in the back of my mind when he falls 10 plus picks, okay, can I just bring on an Evan Ingram and go a late Zay Jones and maybe Calvin Ridley's dust? I'd be willing to take that play more with Trevor Lawrence, who's easier to stack than Joe Burrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
If you're going Burrow with Irv Smith and Boyd, it just feels a little thin.
Yeah, and when you at a certain point, like you said, you really have to just be okay, if you get,
I like
these
the
QBs,
Jackson
it's
pick.
yeah, that would have been nice to fall to you. We'll let you make this pick here. Basically, what I'm saying is, like, at what point do you just say, like, screw a stack? I got a sick value here, just for uniqueness.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so
100%.
you are you're
I don't
you're a
mind
Debo guy.
bringing in Najee here, and Debo, I just think he has a really strong single week spike potential, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm a Debo guy, but when we
Uh-huh.
get to this range, I definitely wanna leave with the receiver. ETN, I think, has to fall about, like, 6 picks. I
hmm
think Gibbs has to fall, like, 4 picks, and he has been,
Yeah,
but
Gibbs is a big faller right now.
I like Debo over Amari right now with the Hopkins news.
hmm
There are
I am
some
like there's a lot of shoes that I'm waiting to drop, and obviously one of them is Hopkins. The
Yep.
other one is obviously Dalvin, and the rest of these veteran dusty running backs.
Mhm.
Because once they fall, I personally am immediately targeting the backfields. Like, I'm immediately looking at RB2s and I'm like, where are those rookie RB2s or those young RB2s that like have a path to contingency or working
Mhm.
themselves into a role where like, all right, like I'm in. Like let's like Zach Evans, for example. I think Zach
Okay.
Evans has a
Yep.
position to really take a dagger if they sign Leonard Fournette or Kareem Hunt to something cheap. And like, I don't think it's
Right.
out of the question personally.
Right.
All right. I'm on the clock here. Two best picks, of course, are running backs. You know what? I'm going to just lay it on the table here. I'm going to try to set up a supercharger stack, and I'm going to take Mike
Mhm.
Will. Gibbs is falling, like we talked about. Gibbs honestly could fall all the way back to me. We'll see.
Mhm.
ETN, I don't think will, but the ETN FUD to me, I think is interesting. Do you think it's warranted that like people are starting to like sour on his price?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I mean, what we saw last year with our own eyes is it's not fake, right? Like, he was not getting the ball on passing downs. He couldn't average, even 5 targets or 4 targets, whatever it was.
Yeah, there was like that benchmark, right? That he just like was never hitting.
And then JaMychal Hasty would go out there once every 3 downs, and he would get the targets right away. It's like, what just pass the ball to ETN?
yeah.
But now they bring in Tank Bigsby as well, and that's not awesome for ETN to have a team spending up in the draft at the running back position. So I
Okay.
do think there needs to be a small fall, and we're seeing it right now. Like, I'm not going Dobbins over ETN. I think that's super hot and spicy.
Yeah, I think so too. Even though, I mean, dude, the
We're talking,
Ravens could be just like, you could just want a piece of them. I think the
yeah.
Ravens. And this is probably like a not a good comparison, but the way I kind of see them, they give me shades of the Niners, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Where like,
Okay. Without the running QB.
yeah, obviously like nobody has like Lamar, but like I just want like a piece. Like I've started to like.
Oh yeah.
I used to never take Dobbins, but now I'm like I just want a piece of that because this is like an entirely new offense. We have a 1 year
Mhm.
healthier Dobbins. Same with Gus Edwards getting a little bit healthier.
Yep.
Adding in Zay Flowers, adding in OBJ. I don't care what anybody thinks about OBJ. Like he improves that offense, and he is a pass catcher, and he's going to
Definitely.
be on the field. And
Right.
Lamar just makes everybody more efficient. And hopefully we get a healthier Bateman. With like this team is like this offense has been transformed from where they were last year, where
Yeah.
Devin Duvernay was literally the wide receiver one because of
I
injury, but he
know. I
was,
know. I
you know,
know. And he couldn't run routes, and it was bad. I was
yeah.
like, I had a lot. I had a lot of him last year too. I was like,
Well,
we're
good
in
for
the
you.
money, baby. And I mean, we're in the money anyways, but
Yeah.
I thought it was a smash just based on volume, and he not a good route runner. Not a good runner. But Dobbins, I 100% agree, especially with the news that Lamar might not be running as much. Well, they're going to be handing the ball off. And like you said, another year removed from injury for both of those guys. The team doesn't spend up at RB. I think 5th or 6th round RB they bring in.
Oh, did they? I didn't even know they drafted. I forget. I don't even know
Yeah.
who they took.
Uh, Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton
Super.
Mitchell.
Yeah. Super late.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Right. But Dobbins is the guy. And I have a fair amount of Dobbs.
Oh
But you're up.
man, I am up, and
Is this your Herbert moment?
Dude, I feel like it has to be, right? Like, and I'm okay with taking Herbert over the likes of like some really good players, just because this is another team that I'm really high on is the Chargers.
Mhm.
Just like their divisional opponents, all being able to give them like a potential for a shootout in the regular season. Um, it's to me like I would not be surprised if Herbert finished over Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
Like personally, I don't think
yeah,
it's that hot of like a take to think that.
it's not.
But their ADPs are pretty large, pretty far apart. It did hurt me to not take like Hawkinson and to not
Mhm.
take Ken Walker though. I really like those guys, but yeah, I like doing this. I like just like getting a lot of pieces of a team, especially the Chargers, because I can hopefully get a little Quentin Johnson on the way back and get a falling Javante. You know
Mhm.
what? I dare you guys. Snipe me on these. I dare you. I dare you.
Where'd my guy go? Did someone's Oh. Ooh, does someone have the draft guide?
Dude, I take
Going
Ayuk.
Ayuk at 50?
I take Ayuk ahead of
That's
ADP a lot.
that's where Ayuk should be. He should be at 50. He should go right next to Kirk, to be
Like,
honest.
do people
But
do people not
everyone's
know what he did last year? And who and the guy
yeah.
and the just the player that he is, period. Like, I feel like
He was
people
wide receiver
forgot.
15. Like he was wide receiver
I
15.
think people, yeah, it's strange to me, man.
I'll just go value based here and bring in Jones. I have a lot of options at QB. I can go Kittle here too as well and bring
You do have
in
a lot of options at QB
I'm gonna bring in Kittle here, bring the double for San Fran.
like that.
And
This is a really, to me, a really fun pocket of the draft.
yeah, if some of these players are gone, it starts to thin out. This is not my favorite range,
No,
but yeah, I don't mind this range at all. I think Seattle's playing Pittsburgh week 17,
it.
so we'll go with the
Oh yeah,
correlation there.
they absolutely are. That's the one thing that kind of
Yeah.
bums me out is like I am a Steelers fan,
Mhm.
and I am of the belief that this defense is going to be good. So like
Yeah.
that is like it hasn't deterred me like whatsoever from taking my Seattle guys, but that is a matchup that I am curious if it ends up being like a slog. Like
Yeah.
I could see that point total being like 44 and a half. And
Got it.
we're not stoked
Got
about
it.
that.
Yeah. No doubt. And I keep those games in the back of my mind, but just in case, right? Just in case. And you do have to hit a multiplayer parlay, no matter who you're drafting.
Yeah.
So, yes, you want maybe your main stack to be like a QB, two pass catchers, and a bring back realistically, whether it's a pass catcher, running back, tight end, and a pass catcher. But I think I'd be curious on your thoughts. I think you really start to lose upside for week 17. Excuse me, for week 17 when you have too many players on the one team. Now I understand.
I think you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I think the math would back you up
Like
on that.
sure, you can push forward maybe another player if another one has a bad game, but if the one that has a bad game goes in the 5th round, like that player's going to move on anyways. So
Hmm.
like it has to be a very high priced player if that's your reasoning. But yeah, like for KC, if you're going Kelsey and 3 receivers or 2 receivers in the running back, like something like that, I think you can do. Maybe Kelsey has a bad week 16. He is a expensive piece to bust, right? First round.
Hmm.
So you can justify it that way. But week 17, you're still taking a hit because you're not expecting 4 players to go off with the
No,
QB.
that's a really good point, right? I think that's definitely more of a like an advancement play. I think like
Mhm.
if you do take like every piece of a certain team, right?
Betting on
Like
an offense.
you are just like I'm betting on this team being undervalued. They're gonna all smash ADP and it's gonna help me advance. Like that is definitely not like a 1 week type of play, but I think, like you said, like the Chiefs are probably like a good example just because all the
Mhm.
ancillary pieces outside of Tony are like really affordable.
Cheap. Yeah.
Hmm. Which like I'm still like not sure what to do. I don't get to a lot of Mahomes right now just because he's so pricey, and I'm waiting for the fall to take place as Tony
I
goes.
agree.
I mean,
I agree.
he definitely has Mahomes, I think, right?
One interesting play made the other day, and so Mahomes falls here. I think his ADP is around 20 right now.
Yeah.
I actually took Justin Jefferson for one of the few times in the one spot, but we went Justin Jefferson, Mahomes, and then I dragged down Hopkins to 25 just in case, just in case.
I like that.
I think it's more interesting to do in the tournaments that fill faster, just so you can get different, because obviously Bestball Mania, it's going to fill just so much later that people will be able to do it. So why take the risk when you could just wait and you can get it anyways?
Yeah, I still like it, man. I like it a lot because normally it's harder to do that. Like Hopkins fell to 42 tier to Steph, which like that does not happen a lot, right?
Right.
Like
That's like 5 picks, I think.
It's anymore. That really just does not happen very much. So if you want Hopkins with Mahomes, you have to either like wait for your once in a blue moon, like where both guys fall, or you do what you just did.
But you'll never get it with JJ.
Nope, never. And I did that with I think it was one of the first. I think it was a puppy, but I did it with I pushed it crazy whenever the QBs were going earlier before with Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. Just like, hey, this is just a strange combination that like if you are gonna get this, like you almost have to do it this way. It's almost never gonna fall to the next round for both.
Look at these reaches. Look at these reaches at receiver. I mean, that's not a reach, but Bateman a few, and now
wow,
everyone's going up and above, which is fine by me because we picked 4. I mean, you snuck in, like you didn't even hesitate. You didn't even bat an eye. You didn't pause your sentence. You snuck in a little Trevor Lawrence here, unstacked, sort of like what we talked about going in.
And 12 picks past ADP. It's definitely a risk, but this is similar to the tight end arguments. But obviously, you can't flex one of these QBs. But yeah, I do realize I autoed a Trevor. I was cool with that.
I'm gonna go Akers here, and I honestly don't mind sometimes mixing in a naked Watson at no massage.
I've been slowly mixing in Watson. It pains me to do, but I really like. I think if he returns to form like in the slightest, because like last year, I don't think that's who he will be this year. He has the potential to really be an important pick in these rooms.
Drew's just joining us as Pat and Nez. What a show. Gonna have to go back and watch it all. How are we doing tonight?
Gotta run it back. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream.
But yeah, you can stack Trevor Lawrence late, like we talked about. You can bring in Evan Ingram, you can bring in Zay Jones and make that bet that maybe Calvin Ridley, isn't all there this season.
Yeah,
but
it's
even
risky, but like with the values,
okay.
Yeah, like I'm just like at a 12 pick past ADP, I have no problem getting weird. Like everybody knows that about me, that I have no fear of doing strange builds, and this is one of them. And I can tell you right now, this will probably be a 4 running back team, because there's a running back that goes around the 120s that I am in love with. And I'm going to have to definitely get some get tight end by volume, I think, because I'm obviously done at QB with the 2 running backs. I don't have to take a lot of volume there, so I'm gonna attack tight end pretty aggressively here.
Love it.
Hey, thanks for the sub, Garling. I appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah.
Check out the comments.
Link is in the description.
This Pacheco FUD is scaring me too. Or is it not scaring you? It's scaring me.
A little bit. I mean, you also have Jerick McKinnon back, and he is a force in the red zone. You sort of see some of those packages that they bring out.
It scares me, man.
But yeah, this range is tricky. I like Montgomery. I don't mind White either.
I think White could be see what's interesting.
I probably would have went Evan Ingram if I were you. Now I'm
Yeah,
thinking
I'm
about
I'm
it.
gonna I'm gonna just try to get him to fall because he's
Mhm.
unstacked. So we'll see. And if not, then it's Gerald Everett time, and and he's one of my tight ends. But
I do think he's too pricey. Like, and same thing with Zay Jones. I think Zay Jones should be going in like the KJ Osborne range.
mhm. So
And
one of our guys in the Badge Bros Discord
Mhm.
is his John Boy Beats is his name, and he has like a sheet of like historical performances, right? And then he
Yep.
also has like categories of like how often a player like went below 10 or above 10 and over 30, and like
I peeked at it.
yeah, really cool stuff. Like, it's just like a cool way to sort, historical performances. And
Mhm.
Evan Ingram had a lot of stinkers. And I know that's probably not a good thing to harp on when we're
Mhm.
talking best ball. And there goes the icon. Thanks a lot, dog. You're the man. Thanks for watching the show. We appreciate you.
Definitely not in here.
Icon is
I
not a
wasn't
pounder.
done. I wasn't done not selling. Stop drafting him.
Yeah,
Damn it.
sorry, I didn't get a chance for you to make your point and help me out with the stack there, but it's fine. We live, we move on. It looks like
Yeah.
this is a Zay Jones team. We'll see how. Let me just get him in the queue.
But honestly, maybe Trevor Lawrence spreads the ball. Like, he has more weapons now, right? Maybe he has games sort of like we see Patty Mahomes and Josh Allen, where they spread the ball and they really don't elevate a single other player.
hmm
That's completely possible.
Yeah, I also just like. I mean, stacking is obviously like super important.
Mhm.
Obviously super important. Um, as long as I have, I can still get correlation with like a bring back with the Panthers because they all go like really cheap. So it's not ideal to have like a second quarter, but yeah, this team gets significantly uglier by not taking that reach on Ingram. But this is probably a 4 tight end team for me. We'll do it live. We'll do it on stream.
Wow.
I'm letting you know.
The only time I think I've ever done a 4 is probably it had to be my last 4 picks if it's ever happened.
Icon just thorn in
He's
my side tonight, dude.
double. He doubled daily to you.
I wanted that. I wanted that. That Jameson so badly. Now this team is that was gonna save this team.
Now you're in pain?
This is trouble. This is trouble. I'm looking at Lazard, Boyd, Beckham. Like, it's definitely a wide receiver for me. We're gonna go Boyd over Lazard.
I agree. I agree with that.
Lazard, I didn't realize how much steam Lazard has gotten. I mean, I don't know if you can call it that. Like, I don't know, maybe like, but he's jumped up quite a bit. Like, I was looking at old teams, I've gotten him in the 130s in the past. Now it's just like every wide receiver just moved up, and like,
Yeah. They're all pumped
you have
up.
to play the game. You got to play the market.
And his ADP is going to stay here too because he goes so close
It
to
will.
Rodgers.
Yep. Yeah. Because Rodgers is right there. For me, I find myself having some sort of Cleveland Brown to pair with him often. Like, he just makes sense. Like, where he's going. Like, he is like the wide receiver too there. Like, back with Aaron Rodgers. Like, it makes. It kind of makes sense. I just miss whenever it was lower.
So I could probably just double tap Lazard and Rodgers and bring in the triple here or the double stack with Wilson. I think
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I could also bring in like a late Purdy and I could stop it too there. The other thing I was thinking about is Rodgers and Geno.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just going
That's what
ahead
I
with the
was thinking.
single
Like,
and then bringing in like
Geno.
a Conklin. But this room's
You
going
have
to
the
piss.
double. I forgot you had Wilson.
We're also in the 12 spot. We're not going to be picking for 22 picks. Paul's in here. Steph's in here. You're in here. Brian's in here. We got a lot of pounders in here as well. I think David and Best Ball Beast as well. So like, I don't expect my favorite people to come back to me at receiver.
Yeah.
And Lazard is not one of my guys. So this is a little more unique for me.
And I like the double stack too. You getting Wilson in there too. Like, I think that's that was smart. That was smart. Yeah. I'm glad you listened to yourself and not to let my Geno fandom come in and make you make a wrong decision.
Honestly, I like Geno a lot here. He should probably be going 14, 15 picks earlier.
I agree.
Along with Tua should be going earlier than his ADP. Like, in my opinion, Geno should probably be before Daniel Jones. I know you have the rushing
Yeah,
upside,
that's
but they
right.
did nothing with their offense. They signed every single free agent available. They bring in Waller. Yeah, if he can stay healthy, sure, that's an
Hmm.
amazing weapon, but it's a big if.
Yeah, Waller to me feels like really. I don't know. I'm scared of Waller. Waller is somebody that when I talk about doing my dual elite tight ends. Like I like to pair like Waller with like Kittle. Just
Okay.
or just like somebody where like if Waller hits, like he's probably like exceeding ADP.
He could be tight
But
end
he
three.
still scares the shit out of me.
There's no reason why he wouldn't be able to finish tight end 3 if he played a full season.
Yeah, that's just obviously like the strong caveat there. All right, it's time to pay my penance for taking the unstacked Trevor Lawrence by reaching a couple picks
It's not
on
bad.
the
It's
one and
not bad.
only Zay Jones.
It doesn't hurt that much. But don't you think like Zay, wide receiver 4 in his team, they add Calvin. Like I think Ingram's ahead of him on the depth chart. ETN, like this team adds another running back. I
So I
just
don't
feel
love
like
it.
he should be going in that KJ Osborne range.
I think so too. But when you also look at these like wide receivers that are left, um, I think his talent just grades out. Maybe not about Jacoby Myers in my eyes. I don't. You're a New England guy, right? Are
Yeah.
are you sad to see Jacoby Myers go? Because I love Jacoby.
I mean, we paid Juju basically the same money. It was really bad. That was terrible. That's terrible to let him go.
It's weird. The decision
Yeah,
making in New England, like once
dude.
heralded as like the smartest organization of all time, is really turned to 180.
Yeah, I don't know if Bill's just trying to ruin the franchise before he leaves. Like,
Right? He just
I
like so
I built
jaded.
this. I built this. I will knock it the fuck down.
Yeah, he's just like lighting the match,
Uh,
watching the whole team go up in flames before he goes. But like when you look at some of these wide receivers that go after him,
I don't mind
maybe Rondale.
Sky.
I think Rondale is still like I think Rondale Moore should probably be in the 120s to be honest. When you look at the guys that go around him, but
Yeah, that's a stance on Kyler, though. I
it
think
is, I think I don't know if Colt McCoy pays that off.
it scares me. Colt McCoy absolutely scares me. But 61 in the live stream, guys. Do me a favor, go down, drop the like,
Whoa.
hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the Pound. Join the Discord where our free draft guide is for the subscribers, and we'll be doing a giveaway, which is also could be found in the Discord. Roger Goodell clown nose towel.
Oh, I need that. I'm entering.
Just leave a comment when the video is posted, and we already gave away one, and it was to a new subscriber.
Oh,
So all you have to do is leave a comment. We'll spin the wheel on Tuesday night when we're back live.
So brother, I was really I told you there's a guy in the 120s that I was like foaming at the mouth over, and it's Khalil Herbert. I love Khalil Herbert. And
Really interesting. Very interesting.
somebody took my boy Khalil from me in the 111. Best ball beast. You are a beast, man. You're sharp as hell for that.
Yeah, I'm scrolling down trying to find it. I think he had to. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that's a reach there. That's interesting, but good pick, good pick. But yeah, man, I love Khalil Herbert, and I like to. I want a piece of that backfield. Just I don't care how I can get it. I want a piece. I think this team is going to be pretty damn good, offensively at least. And if the defense isn't good, then obviously that's better for them fantasy wise. And it's just with Roshan there. Like I think for me, like the knock on him is like he's a rookie, and with Deontay Foreman there, I think my knock on him is that he's not. I just don't think he's as explosive as Herbert, but. Definitely like if he's gonna vulture goal lines like touches, that would hurt me. Sorry, let's I love
No,
Kendra.
You're good. I'm going Kendra here at first. I'm feeling really good about the running back room. I'm really tempted to actually go just like a little nakey Jared Goof.
Ooh,
Like I'm not above it. I'm not above it is what I'm saying.
You wouldn't even would you make
bring in
Laporta?
Laporta? You could bring in a really late like Marvin Jones. We have the CeeDee Lamb bring back too, and this is one of my favorite games. So
okay, you do have the.
I'm gonna hit it from a different angle.
That is interesting, right? I think you can do that. with Lamb there. I think that totally checks out.
And I'll try to bring in a late round Purdy. I have 2 of the pass catchers, so I don't know if anyone else would be targeting Purdy, maybe the Ayuk owner. And let's take a peek at. They have Jalen Hurts, so we'll see. I have to keep an eye on that. Probably select him maybe around early. But I don't mind going 3 QBs with this build. We didn't spend a whole lot of draft capital, and
Agreed.
yeah, I think it'll work out pretty nice.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. And I will say, like, man, I have like no data on this, but I really think that like if you come away without a stack, I don't think it's like the end of the world. I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously
No.
it's like really important. We should be striving to stack in every draft. Do not get me wrong, because that just like makes sense for week 17 and what we're playing for.
Sure.
But
he's the right value guy there, anyways.
Yeah.
But for this team, like I have 5 receivers. Who's gonna really add a lot of benefit? Like Alec Pierce, like sure, but maybe I can get a late Tyquan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson. I think there's a teardrop in between Goof and Wilson here.
I love that you call him Goof. It's amazing.
And we have the bring back, and that's just enough. It's just enough to make me just click the OK button. You know,
I just had to do something really, really disgusting.
I
double tapped the Panthers wideouts there.
Oh shit!
Little kitty cat bring back with the Jags.
Let's hear the take.
Oh, dude. So I do not think that like the Panthers are going to be a good offense this season. I don't.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think so. I am one of the many simpletons out there who get scared when I see a picture of Bryce Young and I'm like, oh my god, this dude is tiny, and but I mean they did a lot to like give him like more than nothing to play with this season, right? So like there's that. But,
sort of like Josh Allen's first year when they bribed Adam Thielen, right? Was it Adam Thielen?
No, not on the Bills.
I'm blank. Cole Beasley.
They
bribed. I couldn't. It was like $10 million a year for 2 years, and then they brought someone else on board, and then the year after that they traded for Diggs, and that's where you saw the breakout year for Josh Allen.
Yeah,
but it could be that.
Yeah, it's weird. And I will say too, have you looked at some of these the future pick'ems that are on the site here?
Yeah, I've been seeing people post about it. I'm trying to stay away right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's like very. I don't think it's a good.
I like if I'm gonna do pick'em, like I want that instant reward. I want to know if I'm gonna win tonight. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, but it is like an interesting. I like that they added them in. People clearly like them, but the reason I bring that up is. So do you know what DJ Chark's receiving yards pick'em is right now?
Come on, now you're making me when you say it like that.
I know it's like a trick question.
It's higher. It's high. It's got to be higher.
But like,
so I would say like
if you were setting the line, oh, it's lower than that. It's lower.
Okay.
Than that.
Well,
but if you were
setting
the way
you said it,
yeah, sorry, it's not absurd. Everybody would be hammering the shit out of it.
550.
I agree. That's what I would say. It's 700.
So you take an under?
I would, but I've hit like 2 pick'ems for 5. Like I did 5 for $5. I did take him lower on one of them, but I don't plan on doing these a lot, man. It's already going to annoy the hell out of me that I'm going to be seeing these in my pick'em lobby forever. Until the season ends. Got a long way until the season ends. I agree. And now I just got to sit with that.
And stare at them. Now I think I'll let you make your pick.
Who said I wasn't going to correlate Trevor Lawrence, baby? Come on. Who said that? Who said that? I'm taking notes.
Steph says absolutely not. I will get my bring back. Did she go Dallas? Yeah, she went Dallas.
Yeah, she went Dallas heavy. Look, she said, sorry, you ain't getting Laporta.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
Literally.
Part of the reason why being a streamer might be negative EV. But I think the unders can hit in so many ways, right? They can hit just from underperforming. They can hit from a 2-week injury, 3-week, 4-week injury out for the season. You know what I mean? There's multiple ways the lowers can hit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I will say they have to play at least 5 games. So they could play 5 games and get hurt or leave early in all 5 and then out for the season. Like that would count. But they do have to play 5 games or it voids. Juwan Johnson's interesting.
I hate this range, but I do like Juwan Johnson. Dude, Shaheed and Taekwon already gone. No way. No way.
Yeah,
no way.
This
stream,
man. What do you think was going to happen?
147 and 148. These people are sick.
Oh, wow. Juwan had a way better season than I remembered last year, by the way.
Yeah, Juwan should be heavily targeted by Carr in the red zone.
So. Mm-hmm. I think so too.
Giants with Hyatt's kind of gross in my opinion. I might just lock in my last running back here.
Okay.
With Tyler Algier.
Yeah, I think Algier probably gets more work than we want to admit. If you're a Bijan guy like myself, it is. It's more than I'd like to admit.
I'm happy if he gets a 25% workload, 25-30%, because it's going to be the run heaviest team in the NFL again.
Most likely, yeah. So, it's not like Desmond Ridder is going to all of a sudden like get unleashed, especially because this is another team where they made a lot of additions to the defensive side of the ball. Like, I don't know micro takes on defensive players, right? Like I'm not that much of like an NFL grinder, but I do know that when teams spend a lot of money on on one side of the ball, like chances are there's going to be improvements there. And they already had some like really nice young players on that side of the ball to begin with.
Yeah.
So Atlanta made a lot of improvements. So I think everything is lining up for them to be like, once again, one of the run heaviest teams in football, no doubt.
Great O-line as well. They should have a top 10 O-line. It's just, man, if they improve on defense, they run the ball a lot. Do they try to win these close games on the ground? It's most likely the way I'm seeing it. Now, at tight end, are you interested in Irv Smith here?
Oh, dude, I am like the least interested in Irv Smith, but I think he has to be my first one. I think I don't want it to be Irv Smith.
I am the least interested.
Never mind. We're done.
Oh,
somebody else can take him.
At zeros.
Triple zeros.
He puts it up.
We're going Foreman. He's my least taken Bears running back, but I said, man, I want a piece of the Bears running back no matter where I can get it, honestly. So Foreman it is, and I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to shut it down there. And Steph, it is storming here. I'm looking. I love storms. We don't get them often down here, but it is storming. I got a nice view of the skyline. So I'm watching a storm roll through right now. Sorry, I had to shout out my my fellow DFW best baller there, Steph. Shout out, Steph. Hope you're doing well.
Hell yeah. She is. She's grinding as well. Fantasy frames.
Yeah. She's got a nice channel over there. I love all the content, man. I mean, it's just the only thing that sucks is everybody's getting so damn sharp, and now we have rooms like this.
Next year the draft guide won't be free. So.
Yeah. Price of the bricks going up. You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. Right now it's absolutely free, but I think that's important to give to the people just to kind of show your worth, right? And
man, I love the draft guide. It's sweet, man. I've checked it out. Like, it's really good stuff. Like, I think that's an awesome resource that you can give to people for free. Like you said, I think it's time next season.
Yeah.
Kick over a couple bucks to the boy.
$10, super sharp room, and these ADPs, like I'll respect a lot. I'll go back and check them out again. We see Irv Smith fall to 168. Completely reasonable.
Absolutely.
Completely reasonable. After both Juwan Johnson, Knox too. Like, I honestly would probably rather Knox than Irv Smith.
In a vacuum, for sure. And let alone cost adjusted. Like, I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing if I was that drafter. I would have taken
one of the higher paid tight ends. He's an absolute red zone animal last year.
Yeah.
So
it's the I love that, like, the Kincaid FUD is like making him so affordable. Like, I have no problem with that.
I agree with that.
Oh boy. All right. Now's the time. Tight end number 1. Come on down, Taysom Hill. And I don't love this. Right? I am not a Taysom Hill guy. I don't take him a lot. I think this is probably the year that, like, Taysom Hill doesn't do Taysom Hill shit, just because we've got you got a new coach, and
I heard rumblings that the
tell me.
coach said about Taysom, and this is sort of my little secret.
Oh,
The coach said Taysom's great. Like they're asking like how you would use him or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I don't think they were using him enough. Like that's
Dennis Allen, talk dirty to me.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. That's pretty gross when we're talking about a guy who finished tight end 5, like barely in the mix.
Yeah. I you know the upside is always there. You know, Taysom Hill is a playoff play, pure and simple.
Wide receiver here, like
I really like your team right now, man. I will say, I know like you see 3-5-5-2, and a lot of people probably shudder at that at this point in the draft. But like the way that you allocated your draft capital is like how I like the draft.
I don't mind Wandale for like late playoffs. If he comes back, and literally the guy could play 4.
Oh yeah.
He could play 4. He could play 4 games, and I'm happy with it.
He had a nice little spike week last year, like one when he was healthy. Like he had a nice game. I cling on to that. These Giants wide receivers, man, are gonna be the death of me. I don't know who to take, and I liked Hyatt. You know, as
he's been falling a ton.
Yeah, he has been falling a ton, and I totally hear everybody's like qualms with Hyatt for sure. Like I think that there's a lot of red flags in his profile, but to me, as like a burner in the SEC. You know, I've been taking stabs on him, but I've been slowing down significantly lately since he's falling. So I'm gonna.
Isn't it crazy though how you can basically get an older Hyatt, right? Maybe not as fast, but definitely well paid. In Darius Slayton at pick 201.
See, that's the thing, man. I've been taking Slayton over him now, and yeah, like you said, he's paid higher, and dude, Slayton's a burner. Slayton is definitely a burner. Those guys do like the same thing. And Terrence in the chat saying Hodgins look legit. I agree. It sucks, man. I totally agree. And I'm worried that I'm getting fooled. You know, I'm worried that I'm fooled because like maybe Hodgins was just like a results merchant. You know, like yeah, like we saw him in some primetime games make some like nice plays. And
they just added so many players to this.
Yeah, we didn't even mention Paris Campbell.
Paris Campbell. Sterling Shepard's still there. I mean, what's the write-up? I'd like to see this write-up in place before we Mr. RAS score is like 9.98 RAS score, undrafted free agent. Jamison Crowder they signed. Like just signed.
Jamison Crowder is there?
Yes. Like talk about slot receivers.
I mean, I'm not worried about him, but like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, like he'll probably get some snaps. Like who knows? Or he'll get cut. Hopefully they cut like 3.
Please. Yeah, just like this is I hope we get some clarity by the time August rolls around, late August, and I can start making some informed decisions. We see the Ty Chandler steam. Are you Chandler over McBride?
No, McBride.
Oh, okay.
Big time. Just he has that
McBride over.
Yeah, he has the goal line size. He was a yards after contact type kid in college. And I think that's enough to get to work in the red zone. And we'd even talk about Madison, but I am so far off of Madison. It's not even funny.
I am too, man.
First off, he's not very good, to be honest. I'm very surprised.
I'm with you on that.
He had his best games against like the Lions. Like bad defenses are the games that we remember, those weeks where, you know, he was either streamed in DFS and everyone started him. And I don't know. I'm just really not fully sold on a guy who runs like a 4.62 40-yard dash.
Yeah, I just like he just to me like just didn't jump off the page, didn't show me enough. And I think too that the Vikings are a potential landing spot for one of these dusty running backs that completely nuke the value of McBride or Chandler potentially. All right, time for tight end number 3 here. Who's it going to be? Trey McBride, I do like, but I worry a little bit about Zach Ertz there. So I'm going to go Fant instead. I think Fant is a much better pick than McBride right now, personally, until something happens with Ertz. Like, if Ertz is healthy and on the Cardinals, I think he's going to run more routes than McBride. You know, just because we want something to happen doesn't mean that it's, you know, like we have this assumption of rational coaching. And,
When the big board opened, Ertz was at like 170, 162, and Trey McBride was at like 211. And we saw this change of like just slowly coming together. And then they both sort of end up late, right? Like Ertz isn't really drafted though. I don't think he's really drafted.
No, he's not. I think I think they've flipped. Like there goes McBride. Yeah, they definitely have flipped. That's something to wait. Like, man, there's so like we've drafted so many teams so far, and there's a lot that I mean things shake up, and like the Cardinals are a team where a lot can shake up big time. Obviously, let's see who you going Slayton here.
Yeah, I'm going Slayton, most likely Hunter Henry. Now, if this is Hawkinson instead of Kittle, I'm comfortable with 2. I think Hawkinson really gives you like that weekly floor.
I agree. So, I think Kittle can still be a little hot and cold on some weeks, to the point that it could hurt advance rates. Like he could end up being because his draft capital is so high, because it's all about the potential spike weeks and capturing them when the money is made. So I like that you took 3.
Exactly. I think if this is Freiermuth instead of Juwan Johnson, I think you can stay at 2. Like that's sort of where my cap is for Kittle as a player. And I sort of have these just like already set in my head. And it also depends at the end of the draft, like where's the best, who's going to be able to spike into the lineup, right?
So I'm looking up here on The Athletic because Levitan, I don't know if you saw his tweet. The beat writers are speculating that Izzy Abanikanda is like RB2. Like
oh my God. That's really good for my big board shares.
We're so back. We are so back on Izzy, and Izzy went to Pitt. So like I was a big Izzy guy in those rooms, and even when he was drafted, I was still taking him in the 18th, but I stopped big time. So it's speculation, but hey man, if that comes into fruition, oh man, I'm so in. All right, 2573 here. My wide receiver, I gotta check my shares. Kind of mid, but this has to be a tight end. I agree or disagree, but this
and I hate 4 tight end builds, but it has to be just based on your capital. And like
I think I'm gonna do something that might shock some people. We're going Ferguson. Well, actually, I guess he's not like. Yes, it is Ferguson. Yeah,
I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy at all. Likely
just one of these guys.
Likely worries me, man. Like we have some likely truthers out there that's keeping this ADP up. Likely might not see the field a lot if Odell can stay healthy.
We love him, right? We can all agree that he's a fun player, and he was pretty sweet when he was on the field, but clearly a beneficiary of a playing time.
100%. Yeah, it took Mark Andrews going down. Now, if you're taking him with the hopes that Mark Andrews goes down and maybe you want that upside unlock, sure. Yeah. I get that.
That checks out. That logic checks out. But you talk about like we talked about earlier, all these guys they brought in. Healthy Rashad, drafted Zay Flowers, brought in OBJ. Andrews is healthy.
Right.
That's a lot of competition.
They could be running the ball again with Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Lamar throwing the ball for 250 yards a game is like probably your max that you're gonna get. You're really hoping for like 225.
Yeah, let's play another game, right? Bateman's receiving yards in the pick'em lobby. What do you think it is?
Give me 825.
See, that's what I would say. 600.
Oh, okay.
That's one that I hit the higher on.
That scares me though.
It does scare me, but like to me, I'm just like, well, this is my conviction, and I don't know. It is scary. It is scary.
If he stays healthy, like that's a smash, right? All day.
I think it has to be a smash.
Like Odell isn't coming in here and getting 800 yards.
No. To me, I think like the Odell bull case is he's efficient and like and runs pure on touchdowns. I think that's how he pays off. 600. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I wonder if that's still there. But that and the DJ Chark were my favorite. The DJ Chark lower and the Bateman higher. Like if I was the type of player that like, you know, and pick'ems were my game, I would probably max that. I think those are both really bad lines right now.
You want to know how much not of a gambler I am, like outside of fantasy football?
Tell me.
I took all of the bonus money from like signing up once Massachusetts got approved. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you get $200 for getting someone else to sign up. You get like another 100 match on your 100. So I ended up like inviting 2 friends. So that was 400. And then I put in 100 to get another 100. So I had 600.
Oh, shit.
And I basically put it on all 4 of the top teams to win the Super Bowl.
You just spread it out and you're just like, I like that. I like that.
And just the app goes to the last page, so I never go back to it.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'll see.
Yeah, I'll see you and you maybe you can hedge a little bit in the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll see. I'm a big hedger to a fault, but
that takes a bigger brain.
It's some negative EV. If you're listening, do not hedge. If you're a gambler, gamble responsibly and don't hedge.
Love it. Let's go over some of these teams real quick.
For sure.
Before we take off. Brian's in the chat. Alan and Gino, like that's a great pairing, right?
Yeah, that's fun.
I don't know about this though.
Ooh.
But you're getting all the tight end points, right?
Ooh. And how many other bills does he have?
A lot. RBs, I think, are okay. We got a little dusty at the end, but I mean, if they could find roles in offenses, I don't think it's the worst thing. You do have 2 rookies. I don't know. I don't love the room, but you have CMC too. That's headlining it.
Let's check out these wide receivers because I'm okay with what he did at tight end.
He's got the double with Gino.
I like what Brian did, man. I'm not gonna lie. I like this team.
Yeah.
Little run back with Taekwon.
Yeah, Juju Taekwon with the Buffalo. Interesting.
That tight end thing might be like just fun in theory and might not actually work. Like I think that's probably the more likely outcome, but it's fun, man. I would that's some shit I would do for sure. But I don't take Kincaid a lot.
That's so fun. And guys, if I probably don't know most of these people that are in this draft. If you're in the live stream, let me know what spot you're drafting from and we'll go over your team. You ended up with Jay Herbs, Trevor Lawrence, 12 picks after.
That was the worst pick of the draft.
Tight ends, like your draft capital's correct, in my opinion. You start with Hill. I think if you ended up with like Juwan Johnson, you can stop at 3 with some of those guys at the end. But you did kind of get boxed out. Knox goes early. I select Juwan Johnson early. Irv Smith falls. You don't want Irv Smith. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm cool with Foreman over Irv Smith just because, like I said, if Foreman does end up being the beneficiary at the goal line, then I think he can see a lot of those opportunities.
Right, and he caps your team pretty nice if that's the narrative that hits. But yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah, I guess if that's how you're gonna do 4 tight end, I would not probably recommend any other way than your last 4 picks.
Agreed, definitely agreed. RB room solid. I like Tank Bigsby in here as well. He had to correlate him somehow, but I like.
I had to. Isn't that the thesis that Tank is going to catch some balls
for this team? Yes. Yes. Wide receivers: Smith, Mike Willie, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Boyd, Zay Jones, Jonathan Mango, Adam Thielen. I think he got there though.
Yeah,
it's definitely a little on the weak side. Deontay Johnson's perfect for this lineup though.
Mm-hmm.
He's perfect. He's going to give you that weekly floor, and he's someone that I really like as your wide receiver 3 if you're going heavy at other positions. But as like wide receiver 4 or 5, like he really starts to fall off in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a single game playing under Kenny Pickett. He didn't have a single game over 15 points. But again, is he going to score 0 touchdowns this year?
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm an apologist for Deontay. I've been a big Deontay guy, and everybody remembers the drops, and everyone remembers like the touchdowns that he didn't score. I think that there's some regression coming his way. He's one of the best route runners in football, and
positive regression, right?
Yes, positive regression. Yes,
yeah.
And I'm just a big fan of him as a route runner. This wide receiver room is gross on paper, but sometimes, man, we see some gross teams advance. Sometimes, like there's
only the gross ones advance.
Yeah, only the worst advance. So this isn't my finest work, but that happens when you take the devil's bargain with a Trevor Lawrence faller.
It's just gross enough that it might work.
I appreciate your niceness.
Steph goes Dak and Matthew Ice, and every time I do a draft with Steph, I know it's going to be a battle for these Dallas stacks. So I'm
Yes,
not
don't even
surprised.
try. Don't
I'm not
even try.
surprised she ended up with them because I'm in the 112. I can't do anything about that. Dak and Staffy, though. Andrews and Laporta, I think that's a good pairing.
Yep.
15 picks before ADP, Steph. Come on. Didn't you see those graphs? It says that's negative EV. There's so many graphs.
Look at the charts.
Look at the graphs. Walker, AJ Dillon, Harris. I like this room a lot.
Yeah.
I like this room a lot.
She did a good job.
Didn't take any shots on rookies, but I don't think she needed to.
No.
Gus 10 picks after feels good. Half point PPR like Gus is probably underrated.
I love Gus. I take a lot of Gus Edwards late.
And the wide receivers are always good.
Dirty.
Always
Yeah,
good.
Steph outdid me so hard.
She ends up with the Dallas double here, basically at ADP, which is nice. Bring in. I've been mixing them in. There's some positive stuff in training camp.
Yeah, there's too much noise for me to ignore.
Yeah. Last round pick, whether it's a bring back for that Giants game or if I have Matty Ice, yeah, I've been mixing them in too.
Yeah, it's too much to ignore at this point.
Team 4 and Team 5 are also in here. Let me pull back a little bit. Team 4, Ghost Cards, welcome to the live stream. Goes to Derek Carr. Nice. I like the pairing. Freiermuth and Conklin might be a little thin, but we'll see what. I mean, especially like didn't get Conklin at a value either, like spent up. I guess
that's interesting.
That's pretty even. Once you earn 10 picks here, you spend them here.
Yeah.
But
that's a good way to look at it.
Chubb, Hall, Mixon, White, like this RB room.
Yeah, this is very high T, but I like that. I mean, I think this is viable. You know, I'm definitely not anti at all, but I just typically don't do it.
I like the RB room a lot. Like I think,
of course,
if anything, there might be a little too much capital spent, but
yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like I don't think a lot of people that watch these shows and draft on stream do things like that, but like I think we would be better served to do like I think we would be better served to draft more teams like this, in my opinion. I think
definitely
these can have a lot of success as well.
I think this team's super well balanced so far. Let me see, 9 receivers. I already know that that 9th receiver I'm going to want to be a tight end, like without a doubt, because just looking at the QBs, looking at the running backs, and the tight ends were picked late. So I'm guessing this room's going to be strong.
Especially with Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill kind of like negates the need for a 9th wide receiver, personally. Like I think those top 4, if you take one of those top 4, you really don't need a 9th unless you are really, really waiting to take every wide receiver, personally. But I still like the team cards. I still want you to watch my shows.
Dude, the reach up for Shaheed, you got me. You really did. You guys back to back, Shaheed and Taekwon at 147, 148. You guys are sick. But I honestly kind of believe that they belong there. And this draft specifically, like you're drafting against your single pod. Like this is the first advancement that you need to make. ADPs, you got to do what you got to do. Like you have to adjust to the room. And I think everyone in here really did a good job at adjusting to the room. The wide receivers were flying off. So
he took Johnston from me. I was counting on Johnston falling from me, and that's what happened with Lawrence. And then I ended up with Trevor Lawrence. So I'm mad at you, brother.
Johnson would have been really, really nice for your squad.
Yeah, it would have been way better than Trevor Lawrence. But hey, what if those are the guys you need? That's what we tell ourselves, right?
Exactly. You have to just to make yourself feel better a little bit. But Tyreek Hill through Hollins, I get why he went the 9th receiver, because I mean, you went 4 through 12 rounds.
Yeah.
I would just like another tight end for these 2 pairings.
I think so too. I'm not sure, like what, like Devontae Parker over like those tight ends, like in a vacuum. I think those tight ends could outscore Parker. Or Palmer, because Palmer, you know, you were reaching on like, why are you just sniping my stack options? Like straight up.
So honestly, why I think the receiver room looks so weak is because there were so many reaches, and maybe that just had to do with who was drafting in front of them, and maybe no values fell. But yeah, you don't see a lot of values on this team, so it does look a little weaker than the rest.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm a little angry. I feel like this is a spiteful. I think this team was strictly
coming at you
to spite me.
Like, he's coming at you.
Jeez.
The icon. Wait, the icon was in the live stream, and
I
you
told
couldn't get
you.
him. You
I
couldn't get
told
him
you.
off Evan Ingram. He said, "I know what you're trying to do, Nez, and I don't like it."
Ooh, this is a fun little team. I
3,
usually
4,
go
8,
2
3.
with Fields, but that's fun.
I definitely try to keep it at 2, but like I think Justin Fields and Pickett is just fine. Look at these values too.
For sure.
Awesome values. Tight ends, like this works
Well
very
spent.
well.
Capital well spent. Yep.
Running backs. Oh,
That's
is this a tweet on Kamara?
ooh.
This little Kamara take here.
I like that.
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Derrick Henry. So maybe Kamara only misses 6 games. You get him back for week 7.
I mean, yeah, you can. Oh, yeah, he can suffer a Kamara suspension. Like he can absorb that for sure with this room. I think this is a very like fun way to take Alvin Kamara in your and into your portfolio is take him in a hyper fragile. Hey, thanks, ER. Appreciate you, man. We'll see you Monday.
Hell yes. Yeah, please do show Nez some love on the Twitter machine in the description, as well as the Badge Bros. They're doing. You guys are grinding every single day.
Yeah, we're out here. But
just
yeah,
hit
I like
1K
this room.
On the way up.
Oh yeah.
But I like this room, but at the same point, I would love like a high upside running back. Just take a shot on someone, right? I feel like if I don't get out of
what's wrong with Saquon and Derrick Henry?
No, but like a late round rookie, like a Dwayne McBride, Ty Chandler, whoever you're on, I think those players are just so important to target as potential like future risers, and to put them with this squad would be amazing if you could hit on one of those players late.
Yeah, I feel you. Let's see who did it. Let's see who did it wide out. Let's see who did
Cooper Kupp, London, Evans, JMO. He sniped you on JMO as well.
Yeah,
Darnell Mooney, MVS, Marvin Jones, and Allen Robinson. So like I could definitely do without Allen Robinson here with this team.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the correlation might have been a little forced at the end, but
I guess
the QB room.
You probably just felt like you kind of had to. I will say with the profiles, like you look at the profiles that are on this team, right? Like Cooper Kupp is like so like he's the complete package. London, I think, has like some bad weeks in his profile. Evans has bad weeks in his profile. JMO and I mean like obviously they have spike weeks. I'm just talking, I guess, like the volume game of all these, like a lot of boomer bust is basically what I'm trying to say here, right? Like Mooney, I think, is definitely boomer bust. MVS, that's literally like the poster boy of boomer bust.
Usually bust.
Yeah, usually. But when he hits, man. Hits.
I like the way they drafted. Like you said, like they're going after those best ball guys that can spike into the lineup, and that's important. We'll see. Maybe Allen Robinson has a little work in the red zone in Pittsburgh.
He probably plays more than people like want to admit. It's just a matter of how good he is.
I don't want to admit
He's not good. I know. I don't know, man. I don't know. He's the wide receiver 3. Like Calvin Austin, like is fun. Calvin Austin is not playing over Allen Robinson. Yeah. I can guarantee you.
Right. I do have one Robinson share. I'd be lying if I said it.
Yeah. I've got I think 1 or 2, but he's not a target.
Paulie's team at the A spot, one with both rooks.
All right. Very nuts on the table.
He's very spicy. Hawkinson, Gerald Everett, and Michael Mayer.
Okay.
Now, every time I do a draft with Paul, it's in this, I think it'd be hard to not find one that either I had Kendre or he has Kendre.
Really? It's you, yes. You guys going back and forth?
It's usually a battle. Aaron Jones, Charbonnet, Robinson, Rashawn Johnson, Jeff Wilson, and Israel Benaconda. Like I like the room.
Yeah, that's really solid.
12 picks after ADP on Aaron Jones as well. Like, what more could he ask for in a 0 RB start? AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Beatman, Nico Collins, and Alec Pierce. Yeah, super strong.
That's sick.
Super strong.
Gets the stacks there, and then paired with just like some absolute alphas. Like that is really nice. That's a really sick room.
Yeah, not surprised. Paul, super sharp.
Of course.
Nice draft, my man. Nice draft. E. David Berg, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson. Always good. Kyle Pitts and Njoku. Like, I like this pairing as well.
So he kind of did what I did with the quarterbacks, right? Similar
Mhm.
capital spent. Let's see how
Yeah,
much better
very
he did
similar.
than me.
Taylor, P. Ryan. So again, this is
Little
hero running
hero.
back build. Samaje, Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, Zach Evans, and Travion Williams.
I've seen Travion getting taken a few times.
Yeah,
In
I've seen
some
people mix
lobbies.
them in. Some people aren't Chase Brown believers. I
Yeah.
get that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the room works. It's definitely a little light because P. Ryan's really going to depend on like the health of Javonte Williams. Like, sure, P. Ryan should have a good start, but if Javonte Williams is back after 6 weeks, 8 weeks, like whatever it is, even if he's not playing a whole lot the first 12 games, like you need P. Ryan for the last 3, and we're sort of expecting Javonte to have a role at least then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
over the one spot. What do you think about the RB room? Did it need another
I think
one?
so. I think it's probably on the thinner side, but I will say, man,
Mhm.
like I'm such a Jalen Warren truther,
Mhm.
that like this is you know, what do you win when you win type of stuff, right? Like
Mhm.
with Hero, like he's got Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor hits, like he
Yeah.
just needs one of these other guys to hit along with him,
Yep.
and yeah, I think it's on the thinner side, but man, I think Warren honestly like has the
Mhm.
potential to be like a stud if something were to happen to Najee. I don't think it would. I don't think he realistically could supplant him, but I think Warren can actually provide some usable weeks at the running back position. Gainwell has
Super
some injury
strong.
conversation around him.
Super
I don't know.
strong at QB, super strong at tight end. So if this is like the 1 week spot, I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah, and Jonathan Taylor kind of absorbs some of the weakness there, but
Right.
I like it. I think this is a a high risk, high reward type of build.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And the receivers are nice.
Oh yeah.
Amon-Ra, Calvin, Kirk, Elijah Moore, Dobbs,
Oh,
Jaden Reed, Marvin Mims, and Chase Claypool. So
Eric,
it
let's
ends up
make a
with
trade,
8.
man. I will send you. I will send you Trevor Lawrence, and we could work out the rest later.
Right.
I am deeply sorry for that snipe. Seeing this team that you have, I am so sorry.
Just say you weren't looking at the board.
I certainly wasn't. I certainly wasn't. That's on me, Eric.
He's just punching the air.
Oh, he's pissed at me. He's never gonna watch another stream that I'm on ever again. That's on me, dude.
But strong in 3 places. I think we can agree. Maybe a
Yeah.
little weak at running back, but it works. It works.
I honestly think it works. Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, best ball beast.
All right, the beast.
Jones. Oh, the Jones brothers. 22
Yep.
picks before ADP. There's a hot, spicy
Ooh.
take.
Ooh.
But 30 picks after ADP on Bryce Young. So you could flip flop them, I guess.
Right? Yeah, it's like the same thing.
It's like you got Bryce Young 5 picks after, and then you got Mac Jones 2 picks.
Yeah, it's so funny how this works sometimes.
Yeah. Like you think you got great value, but then you realize that you selected this dude 22 picks early.
Yeah.
Waller, Gesicki, and McBride. I think we'd both agreed that works as well.
Sure does.
Bijan, Alexander Madison at 58. I can't, man. I can't. I'm just not gonna have any shares in BBM. Like I can't start drafting him at this price. I was doing it in the big board at like 130, 125.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I ended up
all
with
day.
10%, but like even then, whatever.
I know it's gonna suck if it burns me, but I'm not gonna take him if he's breaking 60. No shot for me.
They had the fifth least rush attempts last season. Obviously, with the change in OC, we saw them move away from the run, and I don't think that gets better with the 3.8 or 3.9 yards per carry Madison.
Yeah, when you get rid of Dalvin Cook, I don't think that means you're gonna run more.
Right. But for the team, it definitely works. You bring in Khalil Herbert, who you wanted at 120, but
I wanted bad.
11 picks before ADP.
He might be on the rise, man. I don't know. He's getting a little buzz that he's the running back 1. And like, honestly, I could care less what the reports are. I just think he's the best running back on that team.
It just scares me. Herbert.
Yeah. Talk to me about it.
Herbert scares me with the height, and
he's a little guy.
Right. So once he took over from Montgomery, he started getting more work. That's when he got hurt. So does he have more of that like Tony Pollard type role to excel, or can he? I'm just worried about his health, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. For me, man, he's my favorite pick in the entire draft. I think he's egregiously mispriced. You know, if he's healthy, I really don't see how he doesn't pay off personally. But yeah, I get the concerns.
You're
For
not
sure.
afraid of, Foreman maybe taking some red zone snaps away, goal line, and Rashawn Johnson probably getting some early work as a pass blocker
Yeah,
in that offense.
those are like definite like thorns in the side.
Yeah.
No doubt. I'm just betting on this team being better than people think.
All right, that's fine. I honestly, I feel that way about DJ Moore. Like, I think DJ Moore could smash this year, and he's sort of being disrespected. But 23 picks on Singletary is another hot, spicy take.
Ooh.
I mean, the O line's great. So if this team decides to run the ball a lot, Singletary should have work there. 135 is expensive, though.
It is. It
It's
is. I do
expensive.
take my fair share of Singletary, but I usually don't reach.
Like, we're talking about BBM. This contest is going to be open for another 2+ months.
Yep.
We don't expect this ADP to come even close to this. So that's
I don't.
Tajay Spears now
Another
potentially
reach?
could with good news out of training camp. It already has started to rise, but again, 19 picks. I think the room's fine though. I really do.
Yeah, like I know we don't like the Madison pick, but for 5 RBs, I mean this is a nice 5 RB team. Like if I didn't see like when they were taken, I would be like, yeah, this absolutely works.
And the wide receivers: Higgins, Judy, DJ Moore, Marquise Brown, Michael Thomas, Sky Moore, and DJ Chark. Pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
off
good.
the rip, I would say it's like probably a little like I wouldn't feel super confident in it, but these are good wide receivers and it's not a bad room. Like, let me just say that. But like it's weird for me, like I don't take a lot of T. Higgins. And T. Higgins being the wide receiver one on my team, just like I don't have a good feeling about that. But these are good wide receivers. Like I think that this team is not dead. Like I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
It's just if I had to nitpick.
T. Higgins before Devontae Adams is
dude.
That's
You got some stones on you, dude.
Yeah. So I think some of these reaches early, like the earlier you're reaching, I feel like the worse your team comes out. Like we kind of went over before, like I'll reach on players at the end of drafts that I think have a chance to either rise to before, like higher than where I'm picking them at, or if I just am really high on that player and I think they're going to smash and I don't care about, their future ADP.
Yeah, but an entire team built out of reaches, just like.
Yeah, it trickles down. It eventually makes it feel a little weak, but where they're picked, I think the capital is fine. Stopping.
Yeah, right. Like the room itself is like, for me, like I think like, yeah, this could work. Like Hollywood, Moore, Judy, and Higgins are all awesome wideouts. Like it's like there's a high draft capital spent on there, so it makes sense. It's just like the reach is
no doubt. But before we head out, we're going to be giving away a Roger Goodell Clown Nose towel. All you have to do is comment on the video after this is posted to be eligible. We'll be spinning the wheel on Tuesday night. Nez, do you have anything to say to the people?
Yeah, the only thing I could say is if you're not following the Badge Bros, check us out on YouTube. At Badge Bros on YouTube. I'm on Twitter as well at Nez Takes, as you can see right here. That's the old Twitter handle. Make sure you like it. If you're not subbed to the Pound, subscribe to the Pound as well. Dude, this was as awesome as I hoped it would be. I really appreciate you bringing me on.
No, I'm so glad we finally worked it out, and I'm hoping this is one of many this summer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. To be continued.
Love that. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Hit the like on the way out if you enjoy the show. And like you said, do the sub thing.
Do that.
Pounders.